Hello everyone, this is Cookies. I've got turn 93 of skids. Let's go ahead and jump in. Whoops. What was that password? There we go. Alright. So, got two messages from Okay. I've been quiet. I think he meant to say quiet for a few turns. Man, this game has been crazy. So much to talk about, but I don't want to blow you up with pages of text. Suffice to say, everything feels like it's been on a knife's edge for so long. I keep worrying that I move against X, then Y will swoop in and have an easy victory. I think that's fair in every case except attacking Xibalba. But let's see if he's maybe put that together, or maybe there's something I don't know. If I move against Y, that puts Z in a superior position, so on and so forth. Fortunately, I've been able to slowly but surely maneuver my way towards various different goals. I'm hoping I'm strong enough now to pull the trigger shortly and go. This is a multi-pronged plan involving multiple globals and attacking at least two, but possibly all three of the remaining real players. Yes! Let's go! Alright. Probably going to need another few turns to fully prep everything. Yeah, you did lose a lot stopping that throne rush. And I'm curious to see if he'll beat Xibalba to the punch. Hopefully an ult doesn't go to shit in the meantime. Fingers crossed. Alright. Love hearing that. Realized I was so overly vague. It's okay, you can be vague. Overall plan is Enchanted Forest plus Dreams of the Awakening God, so big Dominion play. Followed swiftly by attacks on 198, 205, 199, and 203. I wonder if these are thrones. Potentially with diversionary secondary forces at 208 and 202. The goal is, if I can win outright, great. If I can't, then hopefully through a combination of the two globals, potentially followed by a third, if a slot opens during the fighting, I can pressure grind things down. Probably a terrible plan. Let's see. I think you've got enough of an advantage that you don't actually need to throne rush. You just use the casus belli of stopping repeated throne rush attempts from Xibalba to invade Xibalba and take their thrones. And you'll probably net at least a couple in that war. And you've got such a large army that I think after or even during, you could pivot and still fight Mekone and Berytos. But if you want to try to go for a rush, then you can certainly do so. But I also think, I really do think can just fight multiple people and win. All right, he's in such a good position. All right, let's see. Gray Barrier. So we got Mekone attacking Xibalba. Hopefully I remember to go see what provinces he means, but I think it's just a bunch of thrones. All right, so we've got a golem here. Cauldron of Broth. I would put this on a scout. There's no reason to have this on a normal commander. In fact, this being on this guy maybe indicates that there might not be good scout, like gem mule coverage for this army. So if you gem baited enough, it might just be out of gems. However, has the I guess the classic Mekone kit of the Thunderbow and the Halberd of Might. I think this is 6 gems with all of his discounts, and then this would be 2. So a pretty cheap kit, very hard hitting, 58 damage or 34 lightning. The lightning adds a really nice element to his armies. And then Boots of Giant Strength, adding even more strength. So it's 34 strength on the 16 damage halberd. So you get big giant hits. And then this is the magic phase option, and also allows Soul Slay. So lots of options on this golem. What else is in this army? Got a mix of Ether Warriors. A phenomenal late game unit. Very high MR, very nice protection, good hit points. They can probably survive like a flames from the sky. They've got built-in ethereal. They're amphibious, which makes them excellent for storming underwater forts. They do have magic power that you want to pay attention to, and they do have the magic being tag. They've got a Moonblade, which does extra damage to magic beings. The Moonblade itself has very nice stats. So 18 attack, 33 damage. And you've got a pretty nice attack skill, pretty nice defense skill, good strength. Just overall a great unit. Very expensive on the pearls, though. And then he's got Corpse Constructs. They're nice because they have this overcharged ability, which allows them to stun enemy attackers. And when they're stunned, even this 7 attack, 13 damage fist can potentially connect. They take buffs pretty well. Their fatal flaw is their exceedingly low MR. You have to be careful that you're not... I wouldn't use them against an astral power or someone that you think, or a big death power for that matter, or anyone that you think might steal them. So they are very prone to getting stolen. And so potentially I would keep them in a line out in front. And then the Ether Warriors can be in the spread formation with the Draconians. Draconians also have high MR. So they're another excellent late game unit. They've got good hit points. They have a poison element to them. So they mix well with Ether Warriors. They mix well with some of the lightning items. So it's another damage type that enemy thugs have to account for. They're flyers. So they give you a turn 1 harassment element. And they've got okay stats. They're very easily thuggable, but you know they are very nice. And if you got enough Draconian chiefs, you can just kind of keep getting these guys, and so they become a really big part of late game armies just by virtue of being free from summon allies. So, but yeah, because these corpse constructs, if they were to get stolen quickly, they could potentially maybe like stun thugs or interrupt mages or kill mages. So I was like putting the corpse constructs somewhere else on the battlefield rather than mixed in with the good troops. But I imagine that's probably not a huge concern here. We've also got the Staff of Storms. The Draconians are going to walk, so that's also something to consider, along with the Horn of Storms. So this guy's holding 80 gems worth of air gear on a chassis that will eventually horror mark as well. But the imps are nice. The imps are also going to walk, so no turn 1 attacks as long as the Storm Staff is in the army. Hopefully there is a scout, so if he does want his flyers to go in, he can put this on the scout, and then they can just charge in. It's a nice option to have. And what does this do? This is like the knockover effect. Yeah, the stun damage. All right. And he's got some air gems. This guy has a Robe of the Magi. So another extremely hard to forge item, pretty expensive item, another item that potentially horror marks. Does have some great perks to it. You get a lot of reinvigoration, for example. It's got Earth Boots, even more reinvigoration. So this guy's up to 9. It's also Earth 6 with some Earth Gems. You know, the Bloodstone also helping with that. And he's got the Dome of the Ancients to prevent people from trying to magic phase on this group. It's only 50% though, so it's definitely still possible. And it also adds a lot of MR to this guy, so he's going to be pretty hard to... This guy is very difficult to thug. He has the option to petrify thugs. He has extremely high MR. You're not really going to steal him or affect him with MR stuff. I mean, it's possible, but it's very difficult. And Yeah, probably the easiest way to get rid of him would be through his very low protection. So maybe multiple like GSS thugs rather than like a bit. I guess he's very hard to SC because he'll probably petrify the SC. But a lot of smaller GSS thugs could probably get through his petrify spam. Maybe chop this guy up. Another area where he's potentially vulnerable is on the morale front. All right. And then we got another guy. Another huge kit, too. So another enormous cauldron of broth. That could theoretically be on a scout. You might just not care, though. It's late enough in the game. Staff of Elemental Mastery. That's a 50 gem item. Now, with his discounts, it's probably 19 and 19, so maybe 38 gems. But it's still pretty pricey. He's got a flame helmet, another 25 gem item. Skull of Fire. And Boots of Giant Strength. So this guy's a huge fire mage. And this guy was a huge air mage. So we've got one of each elemental path except water, it looks like. Then we got the golem with bringing the astral. The golem also blocks mind hunts. So, and with the dome, it makes it hard to magic phase on this army. So in some ways, he's wanting you to guess where this army will go. And these guys are also be kind of a pain in the ass to thug against too, because they got these big moon blades. What is he going up against? Probably just PD. Yeah. But this is a very neat army. It might be walking to a throne to try and go take a throne. Cool. I wasn't expecting something so much fun to look at. Not every day you see all those boosters walking around. All right, we got the two golems that we've seen before. And this pole march. Now, he's got Boots of Quickness, so if he runs fast enough, he might be able to avoid horrors. He's also got rainbow armor and an enchanted spear. Ooh, and we've also got this Elder Cyclops with 3 fire gems. Alright, so here's one of them. This one's a pretty nasty one. Only 42 HP, but it teleports and blinks and has fear 15. It also applies the horror marks with some of its attacks. Nice Phoenix Pyre here. This guy's going to go ahead and do Nest of Salamanders with his last fire gem. Looks like it's 2 of these big ones. Alright. Yeah, you can see how quickly he killed the pole march. Did the pole march come back? He did. He's diseased and weakened, but not ready to run just yet. The other horror... Oh, both of them have jumped on him. Oh, okay, so he respawned here. Just picking up a ton of afflictions. He's now lost an arm, picked up a limp, lost an eye. See, is he dead? Yeah, so he's dead. This guy is fatigued out for a while now. And they got that life drain effect, so he's all the way up at 64 hit points now. Wallop this guy. And that guy doesn't have Phoenix Fire, and he just goes down. All right. So two thugs go down for Mekone. This is Ghost Riders, 5 gem, level 9 death spell. And it's targeted at these cave kobolds. We've seen these guys running around for a while now. They're going to kill the leadership at a minimum. Yeah. So it cleans up that raid. Alright, definitely worth 5 death gems there. Another Ghost Riders. This is just killing PD. I think I ideally probably find an easier way to clear this. I'll launch these raids against PD, hoping to probably clear temples. I don't think I would do them just to make, just to clear PD. Oh, I guess this was a natural bone reader, though. Makes it a little bit better. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this might be somewhat of an even trade then. Maybe slightly favored to Xibalba. Oh no, it's not Ghost Riders, it's just a white mage. Never mind. Yeah, this is great then. Okay. Don't mind me. Yeah, it's not even the same flag. Alright, in Pania. Let's see, we got the point buff squad, we got the Hell Sword Ice Devil. I think we've seen their buff script before. They're just gonna kill PD though. I would put the Crystal Sork maybe in the same square as the Lizard Shaman. But he might be trying to make sure that they don't point buff themselves, and rather they point buff the Ice Devil. Also, their script is so long. I don't know if you need to retreat them. Maybe they can just hang out. But because if somebody wanted to kill them with like Call of the Winds, I think they just would. All right. In Wold, we have a very budget couple of Ocelotls. And this guy. That should be able to kill this. Doesn't need much. It does lose a Shade Beast, but that's fine. In the Mercs, we have a counter attack by Berytos. Very budget. In Fomoria, we have Xibalba attacking Fomoria. Oh, let me get the colored squares in there. Yeah, I think he's going to do sulfur attacks and use the beast bats to power himself. Is that the script? Oh, he's still just hanging on to that death gem. Alright. So clears the PD on Fomoria's cap. Mekone attacking Xibalba in Nardago. Alright, we have a Moonblade Thug. And we've got this Effer Defense Thug. We should be able to clear out one PD. Then in Raphabolia, a whole batch of Ocelotls. In Troll Peaks, a small Berytos counterattack with Draconians. Does run into some counter raiders, so we got Aussies, but there's no undead leadership, so they're routing. Okay. I wonder if the commander for these got assassinated. Alright, Wolfen Plain. Another big Aussie stack. Filling 1 PD. And in Turtle Glades. What is going on here? Oh, White Mage. Okay. You're trying to thug it out with a quarterstaff? Illusion spam. Okay. Takes the 1 PD. Alright. That's super budget stuff. But no one's really counter rating much. So it's all just kind of working. Alright, Berytos finally making a move on Marverni there. Mekone attacking Xibalba. I think these guys are just gonna do some Skelly spam. I think I would start with personal Iron Skin and then do Temper Flash. Oh. I mean, they've still only got 9 protection. Not a huge fan of this script. He might lose one. Yeah, they definitely took a hit there. Yeah, this one's routed now. Lost an arm. Not sure what's going on with this script. Easy clap. Alright. Where was that? Was that here? Yeah, this is 3 Bone Raiders. This might be a pretty quiet turn. Got another raid. Sino Shaman leading some raiders. Okay, we finally get a counter raider. This guy does... did he need to do Phoenix Pyre to do 1 gem per fire Ellie? Maybe. He also didn't do a protection buff. Not sure how much time he had, though. But yeah, he goes down. He might have been able to just self-buff himself, and I wonder how much he would have killed. So Elder Cyclops dies there. Where was that? That was here. Right. Banded Hills. Got Berytos attacking. This is just some PD, so unless they find a way to get on the commander, they should be wrecked. Then in Uric Balcor, another group of Draconians clearing out PD. Then in Dardania, we got very budget raid. I don't know if this works. It does work. I don't know if you get more budget than this. How much are these guys? It's 80 gold, and it's all stolen troops. Was this like a 200 gold raid? It's funny. Alright. And then we have a battle at the Fortress of Iron Peaks. Xibalba storming, or pinging. Oh my gosh, this guy's geared to the nines. Alright, Staff of Elemental Mastery on the line here as well. With a flame helmet. Bloodstone armor for regen. And a bunch of hit points. Boots of the Messenger, Girdle of Might. Stacked Reinvig. This is 3, this is 3. Lose 3 here, so it's +3. Storm Spool for a little bit of lightning damage. And then a big Fire Mage with some Fire Gems. So maybe a Firestorm Trap. And then this guy's here to do Iron Skin. with the earth boots. Cool. Maybe a firestorm trap with a bunch of fire allies. I'm not sure. Maybe firestorm and heat from hell. But yeah, definitely a little spooky if troops are not prepared. All right. I don't want to watch these. I've seen so many of these. All right. So generally speaking, the mages survive. We have a barb attack that takes out some PD, and an Icthid indie attack that also takes out some PD. All right. So when it comes to this, we've got the Xibalba raid here on the last Marverni fort, and then Marverni's got some cavemen over here. So Marverni's pretty much dead, but I think Xibalba's looking forward to getting all this stuff. Berytos finally took this province. And I think that's it for the caves. Let's go ahead and look elsewhere. Now, in the message from 198-205, that is the throne. Whoops. Also a throne. Yeah, these are all thrones. 199-203. And okay. And then 208 and 202. And 202. It's like, was that like all the remaining thrones on the map? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's like 6 out of 10 that he doesn't have. All right, so looking at potentially just a really big magic phase attack. We'll have to see. All right, Tainted Souls kill this guy. All right. This is back to being indie controlled. Disease Demon goes after the Ice Devil and fails, rather than the point buffing mages. Disease Demon goes here, kills the Camazots. Oh, sniped. Even had bodyguards. Let's see, any other assassination icons? I don't think I see any. All right. So generally speaking, though, I think Xibalba's probably going to storm this next. He is sitting on a Well of Pestilence too, but it's a nice couple of death gems. He's got raids running out, so he's potentially trying to cut off Golemrod and take this. And he's also into Mekone's cap circle, so pushing pretty aggressively. And this is the, oh, that's right. So if you do Ghost Riders, you can follow it up with like a scout or a commander to take the province after the Ghost Riders is finished attacking it. So you can go ahead and claim it, get the 32 income. Let's see. Oh, another disease demon. This guy's just a priest, just gets yoinked. All right. So we got Berytos trying to fight around Sitha, but a lot of this has been raided back, honestly. Yeah, we already looked at that. Oh, and down here. Good grief. Yeah, we looked at that. All right, so 3 of them in this area. So we've got a couple of Draconian raids out here. They're pretty isolated. And it looks like Xibalba was trying to push towards maybe putting pressure on Sitha. It's a big army in Sitha, though. I think this is the army he's building to potentially try and take it. And then... Ooh, and Mekone's made this move on Gray Barrier. Ah, okay, so... Now, did this army walk here? No, they magic phased here. Oh. Now, this guy can't... How did they all get here? I guess these guys have really good leadership. But Cloud Trapeze doesn't let you take your army with you. This guy. So this guy, I didn't even see this guy. So we've also got an Ether Lord here. Ring of Wizardry. All the boosters on this army. Along with the sword, the artifact, the Sword of Argilmer, which gives army-wide luck. That's the new Dreamwild Legion spell. And this guy, he did Astral Travel, which is an S5 spell to cast, costs 25 pearls. And so this guy is leading all this stuff in terms of the army. Okay, so that's how everything showed up here. He did not, however, one turn crack the fort. So potentially it's 1,000 wall integrity. How much are these guys? So 2.6. I can add this up really quick. Hold on. Okay, so I haven't added the commanders in, but the troops themselves, we're looking at right around 600 siege strength. So it's not meant to be a one-turn pop. He does have the dome for this army. I don't know if he's got gate cleaver thugs that could have maybe shown up to this, but this does definitely put pressure on Xibalba that Xibalba is going to have to respond to be able to thwart Mekone's plans. I do wonder, there's a lot of range boosters in the game, and I do wonder if Mekone, or not Mekone, if has been casting stuff like Scry and Astral Window at all these different thrones to maybe try and figure out which ones are the easiest to take. And hopefully maybe he's identified that the thrones he jumped on to try and stop that throne rush were probably the hardest thrones that he could have jumped on. And then maybe there were easier options that he could have jumped on to prevent the throne rush rather than fighting Xibalba's armies head on. Let's see. But we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe we'll get a message at some point, or he'll be doing his own series eventually as well. So we'll be able to see that. Or maybe he'll leave a comment. All right. So yeah, I know this one's gone about 30 minutes, but the battles themselves weren't interesting this turn. The Mekone army here in Gray Barrier is interesting to me. His attempted defense with another Staff of Elemental Mastery, that's interesting to me. And then I'm curious to see like what Xibalba is trying to set up to try and push for the win. We're waiting for the big alpha strike from where Ur's going to try to win the game. We've got Mekone making active moves to stop the game from ending. And I don't know if he's trying to set up his own throne rush. It would put him at 4. Might be hard for him to get even 2 more after that. But at least put him within striking distance, which would be important. Also makes it a lot easier for him to try and block someone else from winning the game if he's got 4 thrones. At least it puts him somewhat in the driver's seat. So, all right. And I think that's it for this one. Oh my goodness. How many gems are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Holy moly. I'd fort that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's also 6. This is 6, 7 with 2 gold mines. Holy moly, is rich. Let's see, 2, 4, 5. Very cool. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the graphs. Provinces, we've got Xibalba out here. Forests, we've got Xibalba and Income, we've got out in front. Gem income is Xibalba and Blood income is Xibalba, but Berytos and both have active blood ecos. Research, it's Berytos and way out in front, but I think everyone else below the Xibalba cutoff at least has 8s. So everyone can put together a late game army who's still an alive player. Although Xibalba is not going to have quite as many tools as the top 3. And then for Dominion, we've got and Xibalba. Army size, it's but Xibalba is rapidly rising. They've never had so many troops. But is just massive. And then Ascension points, it's Xibalba out in front. And yeah, those were really interesting messages. I'm glad Distant Horizon sent them. They do add a lot of context to maybe his thoughts or what he's thinking about doing. And yeah, I mean, he can potentially just walk to this throne. And then, yeah, he can walk to this throne as well from here. He can walk to this one, so that would be 3. He could do a magic phase thing here. Or just walk here. I don't know. Yeah, he's cracked this for it, so he's still making progress through Xibalba. It's just very measured progress. And I don't know if it was negotiated. It does feel negotiated. At least Xibalba doesn't seem to be fighting back. Or maybe Xibalba is just prioritizing other fronts. And over here. But yeah, I mean, an Throne Rush is not impossible. He's already got 2, so he only needs 4 to succeed. And so maybe like walking over. He's got what, 2, 3 that he can walk to? Right? Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3. And then maybe if he's got this one, he can definitely try to walk at this one. That would be 4, and he could potentially win off that. Or that's certainly a possibility. So, yeah, very exciting. I think the game state is somewhat unstable. So I think there's, at least at the moment, everyone is building up a bit. And a lot of people are thinking about final pushes to end the game. But I do think this current situation is pretty unstable. I don't think you can leave Xibalba on 5 without Xibalba thinking about rushing to win. With as many armies as he has, and with now enough nearby access to thrones where he can think about doing a big magic phase and walking to some, maybe magic phase in a couple more to try and win. And then Mekone sitting on a 4th. So I think we're looking at potentially, and hopefully, honestly, like this game's been really long. For a collection of players that don't necessarily love late game, for Lunaticman and False God, I think are really struggling with the late game. And so having people at least having plans to end the game is probably good. I know Kirby doesn't mind late game. I've done a number of late games with Kirby, so I think he'll do just fine. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how this one ends. And I was worried that we weren't going to have a winner before turn 100, but now I think there is a possibility that we have a winner before or right around turn 100, which would be great. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.